Declan, health and safety training, right? From your perspective, what would be an effective training session, or what does that look like? How would you deliver it to like you say, the last planners on site, getting them upskilled?
So I think it's quite difficult to get to the. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't think it's very difficult to upskill people in health and safety, right? A lot of people say it's common sense. Okay, but
Generally
a lot of people don't really understand risk management.
Yep.
Which is, right, what does the hierarchy of control tell you?
Mm-hmm.
You look to eliminate, you look to substitute, you look to isolate, and then you look at your administration, and then you look at PPE.
Yep.
But everyone in our business, when we go, how are we going to build a scaffolding? So I'm going to use a harness, a lanyard, and I'm going to hook on.
Yep.
Why? Because it's what we've done.
It's always done.
It's what we've always done.
Yep.
So my point earlier to you is we can actually push out your timeline by a day
Mm-hmm.
and do it without a harness. So now we've de-risked and we haven't exposed our own people to falling, but we've also expanded your program by 1 day.
And that 1 day could cost a company $80,000.
Correct. So when we talk about planning
damages. Yep.
and scaffold packages, they don't exist. Because when we go to de-risk, you've got an idea in your head that it's going to cost you 3 days instead of 4 days. And you're going to go, right, just throw a harness on. That's not reasonably practical.
Yeah.
Right? It's $1 million scaffold package. What's reasonably practical for $1 million? Well, you got to assess how you're going to eliminate the risk. You got to assess how you're going to substitute and isolate it. It's not acceptable to go, just throw a harness on, mate, and you'll be fine. That's not acceptable.
Okay.
So for us, when
So,
we're
so come back to the original question.
when we're actually going back to training people,
Yes.
we have an industry from a scaffolding point of view who are ingrained with the first thing you do is put a harness on. When you look at a hierarchy and control, the last thing you do is put a harness on, right? You got everything upside down. We have everything upside down. We're a pyramid instead of an upside down pyramid.
Yeah.
So we put people in harnesses straight away. So what we are currently doing is, as I mentioned before, we're assessing the baseline of what our understanding is from hazard management through to risk prevention, responsibilities and needs. And as we go across our entire business and develop that training program,
Mm-hmm.
which is possibly anything between a 24-month and 36-month plan,
Yep.
trains everyone across the business from the SLT, who are our leaders across the group, and what our responsibilities are from a verification of control point of view,
Yep.
through to our managers in the planning phase, which is how do we plan, how do we coax, how do we deliver on budget, how do we do all this for contractors, through to our leading hands who get asked every day, can you just go and whip that up? And they go, yes, no problem, we will do that. But we're going to do it without a harness, so it's going to take you a day and a half. Because
But
the first thing I want them to do is eliminate
here's
the
the
risk.
interesting problem that I deal with as well, right? I deal with the same problem. So, I mean, from a different perspective, but same problem. Somebody comes and gives me a job, and I say, yep, I'll do it for you.
Yep.
You know why? I struggle to say no. Like, I've had to get training and coaching from Drew Knowles to learn how to say no.
Yep.
It's the fucking hardest thing I've had to learn how to do.
It totally
It's
is.
not easy saying no.
So our biggest market is variations,
Yep.
right? That's where we make our most money.
Right.
But I would love our staff to be able to go, yeah, I can do that for you, but I'm going to need an extra 6 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours, so I don't need to put a harness on.
Give yourself the additional time and the space so you do it properly.
So I don't
And
need
you
to
don't
put a
fuck it
harness
up.
on. So I don't go straight to PPE.
Yeah.
And that's where we're looking at empowering our staff. So we're currently in the assessment phase of developing a training program. Because we have a trainer, right? We have our own trainer, NZQA delivery for working at heights for EWPs.
Yep.
Perfect. He's fucking fantastic. Charlie Renata, absolute gentleman, based out of Palmy, flies all over the country on a whim to deliver competencies to all of our staff.
Yep.
Perfect. But when it comes to actual health and safety management and understanding risk, we're very poor. And I think as an industry, we're very poor, apart from main contractors. Because the first thing we think about is he'll put a harness on, or he'll wear glasses, or he'll put a visor on.
Well, like,
how do you de-risk?
But
You
yeah,
don't go to
that's-
PPE, you start at elimination, work your way down. We start on the bottom and work our way up.
But this is the same traditional problem. Everything comes back to cost. Everything is cost. Everything
Mate,
is money.
so what
money,
I'm
money,
saying
money,
is
money.
you're a piss poor planner and we're delivering a piss poor performance. I'm sorry.
prior
had to
planning,
throw that in there.
prior planning prevents piss poor performance. That's the 6 P's to
Absolutely.
fucking
Mate,
success,
that's
right there.
Roy Keane said it after Saigon when he walked out in 2002.
Yeah.
Piss poor planning leads to piss poor performance.
Prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Yeah.
There you go.
Semantics, man. We're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing.
You
I'm just talking
no,
about
no.
an Irish hero, and you're talking about you.
I'm talking about being optimistic here. Right? Go on.
So yeah.
Anyways.
So what we're doing to benefit the industry is actually looking at assessing where our baseline's at.
Yep.
And getting a real clear picture of what our staff's understanding of their own responsibilities under the Act is, right? So what does the law say? As a worker, any action or inaction, so anything you do or anything you don't do, will not jeopardize the health, safety, and well-being of you, a co-worker, a fellow contractor, an interested party, a member of the public. Nobody gets that. So when we actually go around and we assess people to go, so how do you prevent yourself falling, for example? Real basic one, right? Your hazards working at heights, your risk falling. How do you prevent yourself falling? A lot of people say, I wear a harness. Like, fucking harness isn't going to stop you falling. Just throw a harness on, walk off the side of the building, you're still going to fall. It's a system and how you use it, right? Are you in fall arrest? Are you in fall restraint? Are you in arrest, which means you need a rescue kit, which means you need a plan to get somebody up if they have the potential to fall? How is that effectively managed at the very back end or the very front end of contracts?
Yeah.
It's very difficult in my industry. It's very difficult because it's scaffolding, right? It's fluid, it's organic. Throw this up, throw that up. But what we want to empower people is to understand the risk and start at the top
is this a
level.
problem because it's temporary work, scaffolding?
But scaffolding
It's
is
not.
temporary works, right?
It is temporary works. Yep. So
Everything.
it's temporary
on a
works.
whim.
Is that why you're not given the level of importance of permanent?
I don't believe people understand actually what they want. So, for example, right, take Commercial Bay.
Yep. Yeah. Let's go combat. Yeah.
Take Commercial Bay.
Yep.
Did they know what they wanted from a scaffolding package?
No fucking idea. I've seen one scaffold change about 6 times,
That's my
to
point.
put up 5 different services.
That's my point. So there are solutions, there are IT systems, there are like shit tons of options to give main contractors an idea on what they actually want. If they can give us a clear picture on what they want, for example, right, we do events.
This then comes back to design, right?
100%.
So
if you can give a clear idea of design, we know where we can anchor to, or do we need to put buttress bays or whatever. We can.
So
actually
the
deliver a
projects not do
package.
temporary work designs then? Temporary work design.
We do temporary work designs all the time.
Yep.
But it's only on a whim when we're told that, oh, you need to throw this up next week. It's not front ended.
That's the problem, there,
It's
isn't it?
very sorry, I won't say
It's reactive.
very rarely front end. We're very much a reactive base.
And that's the problem. So your challenge then becomes, how do you become proactively designing scaffolds as opposed to being reactive?
So we're
How do you pivot your business to do that?
We're doing a big false work package out in the airport.
Yep.
For the car park.
Yep.
That's all proactive design. Everything there, but that's changed about 15 times. It happens, right? Design changes,
Yeah.
things happen, blah, blah, blah.
Change is the only constant, but yeah.
But my point being is we're a very reactive trade
You are a reactive trade.
because everything's fluid and everything changes.
Yeah.
But when things change, we always go to the bottom line. We always go PPE.
Chuck a harness on.
So when we go to somebody and say, no, I don't want to do it wearing a harness, he'll go, fuck you, man. Just fucking get it up as quickly as you can.
Yeah. Nah,
Time is money, right?
time is more expensive than money, mate.
So my point being is if we're very reactive as a reactive trade and we say, no, I'm not doing it in a harness, we lose that contract. We lose that market value.
Yeah.
So when we're actually trying to be proactive and de-risk, to de-risk one, the main contractor, but two, ourselves, and take a bit of heat off them, we're the ones that get hit first. And this is the real thing that pisses me off. We have all these main contractors. We have life-saving rules. We have golden rules. We have safety minimum requirements. We have all these fucking great procedures that you never see early. So, for example, right, there's a contractor that we're not allowed to wear a harness unless we apply for a permit to wear a harness. So we have to build in 1 meter lifts. We did not find that out when we tendered.
Interesting. So that costs you a shit ton of money to do that.
Fucking shit ton of money.
Yeah.
It also meant we got slammed with delay notices because we couldn't build in the time frame that they had allocated for us to build in.
That would be,
because we didn't have all the clear information.
yeah, yeah,
So my point being, every company will have these golden rules, these life-saving rules, these whatever any business wants to call them.
yeah. I
But
get the
if that
general
is not
concept.
upfront and early at the tender and the methodology stage to say, sorry, actually, you need to apply to this business unit to achieve a permit to deliver something every day,
Yeah,
which takes time to do anyway, right? Because
Yeah.
that's part of your planning phase. Takes time to do. We can't deliver on what you want us to deliver if we don't have all the information.
fair enough. I mean, you need the right information to be
mean,
able to bid. But yeah,
Take Commercial Bay again. How many times were the goalposts shifted there? We introduced new rules. We introduced new procedures. We changed the permit program.
Yeah.
We tried to make it more efficient,
yeah,
but at times it created more hassle.
for sure. Yeah, it
But
definitely
why?
had
But
its
why does
challenges.
that not impact on a like? Because I've gone from the main contractor to subcontractor now. I'm like, well, why does that impact on a subbie's time?
Well,
I-
see,
I like-
here's the thing.
I
This is
like
the
to
problem I've
think
had,
when I
right?
work-
Shit flows downhill. Shit flows downhill. It does.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, shit does flow downhill.
I agree. I
and,
totally
and
agree.
you're not the only subcontractor having that problem. Trust me.
I agree, but my point being is when I was on Commercial Bay, I tried to make everything more efficient to take less time off subbies. What I'm seeing when it comes to actual main contractors in the industry is they're introducing things that are actually creating more time inefficiencies than creating a safer environment with less time efficiencies.
Right.
That's the thing. The goalposts are shifting all the time without any engagement with the actual interested parties. Like ISO 45001 tells you engage with your interested parties who are your contractors, your visitors, your members of the public that are impacted by your decisions. There's very few companies in this country that would get that accreditation because I don't think a lot of people will be able to justify that they've gone and engaged with every single contractor who's impacted by their decisions.
Yeah.
That's a benchmark. That's a gold standard, right?
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Right. Anyways, interesting conversation. I've got to cut that there. I think we've gone way over our 7 minutes.
I told you we were just going to yarn, man.